Welcome. How are you? So it's happened. That huge plan you had, that huge idea you had, the one that you thought, this is it, it's definitely gonna work. You've had whispers. Some people have been brave enough to come to you and actually say, nah, this is not it. And somehow you've had a bit of doubt, but backed yourself regardless. And the unthinkable has happened. The people were right. It didn't work. And like most people, you're doing what you thought you wouldn't do. Some people call it excuses, other people will call it cope. Regardless of what it is that we want to call it or title it, is it the right way forward? We start saying things like, I never really believed in it, but I just wanted other people to think I did. And we do it in all aspects of life. It could be you're approaching the opposite sex and you're confident in yourself until you get there. And it turns out that that person have got their own mind and they can make a decision that doesn't quite align with yours. And instantly we go into the defensive. Didn't really like him anyway, I just wanted to do him a favor. Like they were asking for a favor in the first place. A job interview. You've done everything and prepared for it. You've made yourself believe that this was your job until you get there. You felt the interview went well. It was flowing. And somewhere along the line, you felt you built a connection until the result comes and you narrowly missed out. Didn't really want the job anyway. I just went. This idea of trying to deal with losing an opportunity in this form, for some people, they do it because it's the only way we know how. The people around us have always done it like that, so we have to. But is that the right way? Doesn't it reek of desperation and lack of style and substance, when in actual fact what you could or we could do, because I think it happens to all of us, is take the loss. Because not until we take the loss, we don't know how to deal with a loss. We hide behind the strategies of trying to deflect away from reality. I really wanted that job, but that's a shame. But why didn't I get it? I thought that person was really cute and it would have been a good idea to get to know them. Shame. But these things happened by trying to bury our heads in the sand and pretend it never happened. And we're missing opportunities to learn how to overcome those things that made us not get those opportunities. And there are certain things that we could be learning from that. It could be a case of we're trying to build up and brush up on our interview skills. Could be a way of trying to build up and brush up on our communication skills. It could be patience. It could be resilience. There are a number of things that comes with delayed expectations rather than just brush it off to I didn't want it anyway. Try and cope that sense of denial, refusing reality, creating our own sense of reality. The people that get to really enjoy what life has to offer are the people that get to live in it and not create this fantasy world where everybody else is a villain and we are the only good guys. Yes, there are villains, and yes, there are good guys. But at some point, these villains experience something that turned them into these people that people now think are not the good guys. And sometimes we behave in a certain way where we could also be described as villains. Of course, it's hard. Nobody ever wants to be seen as not being good enough for something, not being qualified for something. Nobody wants to deal with rejection, especially if that's something that you've been exposed to previously, maybe from a tender age, and it triggers a certain emotion or feeling and takes you to a place where you never wanted to visit or to open a box you always felt was nicely locked away somewhere. But is it that person's responsibility to deal with that, or is it us? If we feel that we've got things that we haven't quite managed to get to, would we, or would it be better, or try and get to those things before we begin to broaden our horizon? Either in stepping out from where we're comfortable to a place that brings a different level of challenge, a different level of criticism, that shines a different level of light to what we do and who we are. Taking the loss is part of daily life, and until we learn to accept that, it just begins to spiral out of control. And it happens in the most basic aspects as well. For example, you're about to catch a bus, and just that split second it goes away. Like, oh, that anger and frustration. Like, if only I was a little bit quicker. You're just about running down the stairs to catch the door as it shuts on the train, and it just miss it. You're trying to get to the ferry. You planned to be there at a certain time because you know you might miss it. You did one extra thing that you shouldn't have. You knew you shouldn't have. Click that button, open that email, check that message at the time you were meant to have started that journey. And then you get there, you get frustrated at the fact that they could have waited a couple of minutes, but you knew the time that the ferry lives, that the bus lives, that that appointment was, that meeting was. You took a shot at the expense of your appointment, and you were hoping that somebody else was going to make a mistake to accommodate your error. Maybe it's always worked like that. It's always worked where people didn't quite turn up on time, so you become accustomed to, oh, I just do this extra stuff because this is what people are like, or this is what this person is like, and it just happens to be that one day that they turn up on time, and you begin to curse everything but yourself. Because people do things that are outside of the norm doesn't mean that we should, because we need to be accountable. We need to be disciplined. We need to be boundaried, because only that way are we able to create a sense of authenticity. Not just to the people out there, but to ourselves. Yes, I messed up there. Maybe I should have left the house a little bit sooner. I messed up. It was my fault, because if I didn't open that email, I would have been in the car and I would have made that split second. I knew the traffic was always bad, but yet I took a chance anyway, and I left later than I should have. I shouldn't have approached them, because I hate rejection. And I couldn't deal with that right now because I'm not prepared for that. And this is something I need to work on to build my confidence, to be able to approach people and understand that people have the right to say no. They're not interested in talking to me. Just like I say no, I'm not interested in talking to people. It's hard. We don't want to hear it, but we need to. what we ultimately, the decision is ours when it comes to taking the loss. We could choose to bury our head in the sand, or we could do the right thing. The right thing is different for different people in the way we choose to interpret it to ourselves. But burying our head in the sand don't sound like the right way to go. Lying to ourselves don't sound like the right way to go. If anything, we're doing ourselves a disservice. And haven't you noticed? The person we always seem to put first or prioritize is ourself, our emotional well-being. We try sometimes so hard to pretend to everybody else that we're fine when we're not. How about we start by building our own character, getting ourselves to trust us, that we can be honest to ourselves. Where we've made mistake, we take accountability and take responsibility and look for a way to fix that. So we lost. Big deal. We'll fix it tomorrow. We'll fix it later. We've got this camera. We've got electricity. We've got fire. Because somebody took a loss and went back and worked on it again. And here we are, having this conversation today. What is it that you're working on? And what is it that you think you could do better at to be able to improve you? Let us know in the comment section below. Let's have a chat. Until next time, guys. It has been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.